And last, but kind of least, is the Russian loadouts. Now, I think these are the worst guns in the game by far. I think that PPSH being in everybody's loadout, even if it was true to reality, I think that gun sucks. I've been headshot from 300 meters before, but I can't seem to hit people at more than 100 meters with it. So teach their own. Everybody has their own experience with it. But I think the PPSH is the worst gun in the game. I'd rather use the 6-shooter revolver. It's funner to use. And up close, the thing's unstoppable, clearly. But for all these big open maps that the Russians fight on, the gun is very, very tough to use with long distances, especially on Kharkov and even Kursk. I mean, Kursk has got some long distances, but at least you have some little city areas where it seems to be on Kharkov. All your battles are kind of distance out between the city points. But either way, we'll start out with the Russian Assault Flamer as our S tier. Fantastic loadout. You got the satchel, you got the Molotovs. You're going to do some damage. It's going to be tough getting kills with this gun, though, I'll tell you what. But it's a good loadout. It has to start out at the top as far as the Russians go. As far as the medic goes, we got to go with the Sanitator. This is definitely our lowest tier loadout here. You're stuck with the handgun. You can give your buddies high fives, and you can give them bandages too. You can set those down. People will use them. Like I said before, I've only ever dropped one, I think, ever, and I don't think I've ever come up upon one in game ever at all. So I know there's not a lot of people using this loadout. I don't know why you would unless you're just trying to have fun with it. But regardless, this is not a great loadout. I would love to see more added to the medic loadout as well. And let's just start from the beginning and we'll get to it. We'll get to the standard loadout for medic. Anti-tank standard. Well, you get the PTRS. I mean, that gun is dog shit. I know it blows up stuff, but this is a Seagal level loadout here. This is not really going to get the job done all the time. It used to be a lot better when you could take the PTRS and you could shoot a garrison and take it down. I really think the devs should bring that back. That should be something that takes out a garrison. The chances of you being in a perfect spot to shoot it down anyways isn't really that high, especially from a distance. So let's bring this back. Let us shoot the garrisons and take them down. You can take one down with a Molotov. Come on. All the thing is a wooden table. The breeze could blow that thing over. Next up is the anti-tank gun crew. Again, not a great loadout. I mean, you are getting the rifle, which it's an okay rifle. I sometimes have luck with it, but based on the sight on this gun, and you're limiting yourself to an AP mine with the ability to build a gun, the chances of you running around after you build a gun once it gets blown up or something and still using this loadout without or searching for supplies, you're limiting yourself a lot by using this loadout. Next up is the anti-tank ambusher. Comes with a grenade. I realize this is a grenade now too. The AP mines are the little 2 sticks with the string you shove in the ground. But this isn't a bad loadout. If you can play up close, you're going to be able to get that satchel down and you're going to do some damage to the tanks. Thankfully, on the Russian maps, some of the tanks, like if you're on Stalingrad, the tanks are moving around a lot. If you're on Kursk or Kharkov, the tanks are going to be sitting where you can almost not even get to them. So this loadout's going to be tough unless you got to blow through a bunch of enemies and you manage to get up there with your squad to drop a satchel. Hopefully you have someone with the AT loadout there that can do a bit better of a job. But for this, we're going to go to a Connery level loadout. It's not the best. It's not the worst. It'll get the job done up close. If you're not aiming for tanks, if you're trying to blow up like the chapel or some buildings, then this will be a great loadout. But I think for the overall, for the purpose of being anti-tank, it's not a great loadout to use. Now, this one, the Lian Li, this is definitely a John Wick level loadout. You got your up close weapon. You can do some damage. Again, I'm not partial to this PPSH. I mean, obviously the one with the drum is going to be a bit better, but because they now added the bazooka for you to use, this is a good loadout. If I'm going to play AT, I'm not using that damn PTRS. I'm going to be using the bazooka. It is effective at long range, and you can be successful pushing in with the PPSH. The assault standard. So you're going to get your grenade, you're going to get your smoke, and you're stuck with the PPSH. I just don't feel there's really much special about this loadout at all. You get the grenades and smokes, but on a big map, they're almost useless unless the enemy is pushing in or you're defending, and you got a whole swarm of people pushing in, and it's kind of a last resort situation. That's when I feel like this loadout's the best. The veteran loadout, I mean, see, you don't get the smokes, but you get the grenade and you get the drum. So you're already sitting at a ton more bullets before you need to reload. You're going to have a better chance winning gunfights. And if, you're being aggressive, you can throw a grenade up in a windmill or whatever you're doing. I think you'll be better off as a John Wick role using the drum loadout. The Grenadier. This is a fantastic loadout. This is moving up to a Stallone level loadout. That SVT 40 is an amazing gun. It shoots so well. You can, get those long distance shots if you want and play up close as well. And you got grenades and smokes. Maybe this is we could bring this down to a Arnold level loadout. It's really a close call with this one. I think the amount of grenades you get is, I think it's 4 and 2, like the other loadouts. If so, this is a Stallone one. If you get a little less, like 2 and 2 or 2 and 1, then I would bump this down to an Arnold level loadout. The Auto Rifleman Standard. Again, PPSH with a drum, and you get a grenade. Look at this. It's the exact same loadout. There's no difference here. So it's going to maintain its ranking here as a John Wick level loadout. The Flamer loadout. Again, you get the PPSH with the drum. Not a lot of variation here with the Russian weapons. But it's really fun using the Molotovs. Your chances of killing a couple enemies with it is very slim. If you're in a trench, maybe. If they're behind a house, you throw it over the house. I think this is I'm going to bump this one down here, as it's not as effective as a grenade. The Commander Standard. You get the PPSH, you get the regular magazine, and you get the handgun. Again, not a great loadout. You're going to be pretty limited. Facing against the enemy team, you're going to have a lot of rifles going your way, a lot more guns that can shoot longer distance. I'm going to have to put this down as a Seagal level loadout. You do get the handgun, though, but you already have this weapon for up close. I don't know why you would switch to the handgun. And you got smokes. There's not really a lot going on there. Engineer Standard. I mean, here's your AP mine looking things here. I don't know what these are called. Maybe you can post that down in the chat. And I just don't remember what these are called. And you got your anti-tank mine. These are great if you're trying to blow up a big tank. You got to put 2 right next to each other in the road, and you got to put them horizontal across the road so that they blow up at the same time. Otherwise, you're not going to damage any big tanks. But this is a decent loadout. I can't really give it the Arnold level loadout, but I think it's going to have to go down here. I mean, you do get the longer range rifle. I personally like the M38 a bit better, but we'll give it a Sean Connery level loadout because you got some gadgets, right? Next up, Engineer Sapper. This is a great loadout. Long range rifle, AP mines, smoke, and satchel. This is definitely an Arnold level loadout. I like it having the rifle better than the PPSH, but the fact that you get a couple more explosives and the satchel as well as a long range rifle, I mean, that's a great loadout to have. The MG, some of you out there might like it. I think this thing, besides it having no bullet, no recoil and being able to hip fire it a lot easier, I can't really rate this as a top tier loadout. I'm going to put this down here as a Seagal level loadout. It does have stopping power, but it's just, I don't know. Maybe if they change the sounds. I know when they edited all the sounds for America and Germany, it didn't seem like they edited any sounds for the Russian guns. But maybe if they made these sound a little more powerful, it would just be a little more fun to use them. Then we'd bump it up to Sean Connery level. But for right now, that's going to sit at a Seagal level. Medic Standard. Now, you do got the longer range rifle. You know, you can also give your bros a high five, and you get the handgun. Is this a great loadout? No. It's better than the others, but the fact that you're just kind of stuck with smokes, not a lot of ammo, you only get what does that say? 4 clips there. You're very limited even with this. It's kind of like being a medic and using the car. That handgun might be better off in most situations than even using the car as a medic up close. Officer Standard. So you get the PPSH, you get the handgun, you get the grenades, you get the smokes. You can always drop your OP. This is a decent loadout. You can be aggressive with this. The long range maps are going to be kind of a problem. You're going to have to sit behind your squad. This is going to be a John Wick level loadout. Not awful, not the greatest, but it's a good loadout as far as the weapons we have to choose from the Russians. The Junior Sergeant. You get the SVT-40. This automatically is going to bump us up to an Arnold level loadout here. Well, you know what? I'm going to have to bring it up to a Stallone level loadout because you also get the handgun. These two together are going to be unstoppable. If you miss, you run out of bullets real quick, switch to your handgun, you're good to go. Throw a grenade, throw smoke, whatever you may need to do. It's a solid loadout. I could put it with Arnold, but we got to leave some room open, and this is obviously be having the handgun a better loadout than this. So these two deserve to be in the same class. Starshiner. This is a decent loadout. You got your grenades, you got your smokes, but you got the PPSH with a drum. That's a solid loadout. I guess, I mean, I put it down here as a John Wick loadout. I suppose that's really fitting. It doesn't quite have the firepower of having a satchel, but it's a decent loadout nonetheless. Now we'll go to Rifleman Standard. Now you're really talking long range weapon, and this is a great gun. I also think the sight's a little awkward on this one. If I remember right, this is the one that has the flat sight on it. It's kind of hard to. I imagine it to be like being left-handed and trying to write. Your hand is always over what you write. Where I feel like if this is that gun with the flat sight, it's so hard to get it perfectly level, and you're also covering up your enemy at the same time that you're trying to shoot. So it makes it kind of tough if this is that gun. But this is a basic loadout. You do have your ammo. It's not bad, but it's definitely not a great loadout. You're kind of limiting yourself. I guess it could be Sean Connery level loadout, but we're going to stick it down here with Seagal. You're not going to be able to play crazy aggressive with it, but if you are the last one standing, you will be able to refill yourself with ammo and continue the fight. The Grenadier. This is a great loadout. You got grenade ammo. You'll be able to refill yourself and your squad with grenades and smokes, and you get the M38. I like this gun a lot. It's great up close. It's great at far. I've had 400-meter headshots with this gun, and you can play aggressive up close. The reload on it isn't very long. So I think this is a good all-around weapon. I would definitely give this a Sean Connery level loadout. Well, yeah, we'll leave it with Sean Connery. It's got the gadgets. It's got the refills. It's a decent loadout. Flamer loadout. Now, this also has grenades, and it's got the Molotovs with the M38. This is a John Wick level loadout. You're going to do some damage. You are going to be able to refill yourself too, which is huge. If you find someone with ammo, you'll be good to go here. You do have 12 clips of ammo, so you'll do some damage with this loadout. Sniper Standard. Now, this sniper rifle, I don't really have as hard a time using as I do with the German car. Even though I'm great with the regular car, the German car always still gives me trouble because of that damn scope. But this is a very basic loadout. I don't think it's outstanding, but I think it's a good loadout. You do get the handgun. We're going to put it here with Sean Connery. The sniper with the SVT-40. This is a great loadout. Like, you don't get any options with it, but you do have a ton of ammo, and it's going to be good for close and long range. I guess I could put it with Arnold. As far as sniper goes, you have that scope that is going to help you quite a bit. You don't have quite the firepower, so I'm going to have to stick this down with John Wick. You're going to get the job done. You're going to have a lot of fun with this gun. Spotter standard. This is a good loadout. You got your AP mines, you got your ammo refill, and you got your grenades, and you're going to be pretty successful with this. I'm going to have to shove this one up here also with the John Wick. As you can see, I'm running out of room. I will just add them on to the end here if that's what I got to do. Spotter Scout. SVT-40, flare gun, and smokes. I mean, the SVT is a great gun. And being able to see where your enemies are with the flare and hard mark them on the map for you to just pull up your HUD and start running around and shooting people. I mean, that's what it is. That's going in the Arnold category. This is a great loadout. I think you'll be successful no matter what you're trying to do. And if you run into a bunch of enemies, you're going to be fine. Support standard. Now you're stuck with the longer range rifle and you're pretty much dropping supplies. This isn't that epic of a loadout. I mean, technically it's, you're going to be running around with your squad lead. Hopefully your squad, they're going to have the PPSHs. I think you'll be fine, but I can't say this is a great loadout by any means. So this is going to go in the Seagal category. Next up, the ammo carrier with the SVT. This one, Arnold tier, for sure. You have plenty of ammo, 12 clips. You have supplies, ammo, and grenades. What else do you need? This is like having the Gewehr and carrying all that ammo. If you had grenades, it would be OP, right? So for this loadout, if it had grenades, it'd be going up in the Stallone category. But since you just have ammo, you can refill everybody. I think it's still 6 people can refill off of each box, so you're good to go there. And last but not least is the support flamer. You get the M38, you get the handgun, you get the Molotovs and supply box. Yeah, Arnold tier all day. This is a fantastic loadout. The Molotovs, I don't know how successful you guys have been with using them. I mean, I might have had a couple kills with them. I still don't think I have that achievement where you kill 10 people with it, I believe it is. But it's a great loadout. The M38's a great gun. Like, if you guys aren't really into using the rifles, I suggest trying to use the M38 and warm up to maybe the longer range rifles, because this gun is a showstopper up close. You'll be good with it. Other than that, guys, hope you liked this loadout tier list. Again, I will put a link to the files down below in case you want to make a tier list of your own. I'm interested in seeing what you guys think. If you have any disagreements, post it in the comments. Let's talk about it. If you agree, then let me know that too. It's interesting to see what people's experiences are and what they've enjoyed using throughout the game. And most of the time, people, I think, in this game end up really liking a loadout that they've been able to stay alive longer with. That is kind of the name of the game. We all have been artilleried every time we spawned in, and that shit gets annoying. So what do you guys like? What loadout do you think is the best? Do you agree with using the Assault Raider for the S tier and the Medic Sanitator loadout for the bottom tier? And again, let me know who you think that is in the bottom that I never mentioned. Have a good day. Have a good week. Talk to you soon.